Good evening, everybody. Welcome once again to Phil's Pub. Isn't this a great place? Oh, man. Fun times here. Fun times, no doubt about it. And they do happen to be a proud sponsor of the Dave Holly Hour, a local podcast about Sioux Empire arts and entertainment. And I'm Dave Holly. So it's great to be here once again amongst the sponsors, as well as not tripping over any microphones yet. All right. And welcome to yet another Crazy Poet Records Writers Round. And we got an all-star lineup for you tonight, okay? Let's take a peek quickly. Ron Keel, multi-million selling singer, musician, and songwriter, 3 albums charting in the Billboard Top 100, dozens of TV and film soundtrack appearances. Next to him, Nattie Jean, crazy poet recording artist from Bismarck, North Dakota, known for powerhouse vocals and deeply emotional performances. Her new single, I Don't Feel Bad, was released yesterday. And then, right over here, from the mountains of Sheridan, Wyoming, Whiskey Rich, a local songwriter who blends authentic storytelling with high-energy performances and feel-good vibes. All right. Now, one of the great things about Poet is the fact that Crazy Poet Records likes to give back to the community. Tonight, we're helping out Lifescape. And they're over there. If you haven't made a donation yet, trust me, they're going to be here for the next hour plus. So get up, give them some cash or something, all right? Help them out. And so if we haven't, let's see, Writers Round portion, rather, of tonight's event will last about an hour. And then we do ask, you know how you are right now? Quiet. Please keep it like that in terms of any table talk and so forth. Obviously, once you've heard these incredibly talented singer-songwriters, make a lot of noise for them, okay? And please keep conversations that way. And then after the round and a short break, Nattie Jean's going to come back and play yet another set. So what do you say we give them all a great round of applause right now and start off yet another Writers Round here at Phil's Pub.
Well, thank you. Give it up for Dave Holly, our host and moderator this evening. Great to see you, Dave, and great to see this packed house here, and just made friends with the folks here at Phil's. What a great venue, and supporting music like this and Lifescape as well. So we're glad to be here, man. Those guys behind the bar are my 2 new best friends, I'm telling you. My name's Ron Keel, and I've been in Sioux Falls for 11 years, but before that, and since then, it's been one hell of a ride. I've had a lot of dreams come true, and Dave mentioned some of the accolades or accomplishments or whatever you want to call those. About 3 million records sold, albums, CDs, downloads, whatever you call them these days, about 3 million sales. And I keep that in perspective by saying, well, if I sold a few million records, that means billions of people don't like me or don't know who the hell I am. And I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. But tonight is about the songs and the stories behind those songs. And we're going to take you on a journey into the music and hopefully some of the process of how these songs came to life. I'm going to start with a song that, if you know, they say a good song is like a gift from heaven, a higher power, or God, or the force, or whatever you believe in. They say like a good song is a gift, and we're just the conduits through which those songs flow to the people. If that's the case, then my first song really sucks, because it took me 22 years to write this one. And for me, the process goes in a lot of different ways, as we'll talk about through the evening. The songwriting process happens very much like childbirth. Sometimes it's quick, sometimes it's very painful, sometimes it's just different every time, every song, and sometimes they are like a gift from heaven and they just fall into your lap and you're just the conduit. Sometimes it's like building a house, like crafting a piece of work, and you want to put the wood here, the stone there, and the paint there, and the glass class there. And I write both ways. I write songs that I don't even know where they came from, and chords I don't even know how to play, and suddenly they just pour out of me. And sometimes, like this one, it takes years. Wrote this riff on the piano in 1991, and it's just stuck with me for all those years. I just thought that riff just kept haunting me for years. And I lived in Nashville for 10 years, doing the country music thing and songwriting and learning from some of the best in the business. And I moved from Nashville to Las Vegas. And as you know, if you've been to Nashville, it's really hot, really muggy. The humidity puts Sioux Falls to shame. I mean, you can't walk out of the shower without breaking a sweat, right? So the humidity in Nashville is brutal. I hate it. And so in Vegas, it's quite the opposite. It's like living in a microwave oven, literally 130 degrees outside. So one morning I walked out on the porch with my cup of coffee, and it was really humid, a very unusually humid day for Las Vegas. And I had my coffee and I said, man, wow, it's just like Tennessee. And part of being a songwriter is keeping your radar on all the time and recognizing those gifts from heaven that can turn into songs. And I all of a sudden realized it's just like Tennessee. That's a song title right there. Maybe it'll go with that riff. So I wrote a song that day about being heartbroken. And I was not heartbroken at the time. I was, and still am, very happily married. And the farthest thing from my mind and my heart was being heartbroken. But you search back in your memory and your experiences to those times when you were heartbroken, when you really hurt and your heart got broke. And you write a song about that. And the basic premise of the song is that no matter how far you go, you can't outrun a heartbreak. And it's always just like Tennessee. I went back out to the desert to see the open sky. But the clouds came rolling in and the wind began to cry. The rain started pouring down, washing over me from 1,000 miles away. It was just like Tennessee. Behind me to make a brand new start. Let those memories in the dust follow in my heart. But the desert rain reminds me it just wasn't meant to be. I'm 2,000 miles from nowhere, and it's just like Tennessee. I'm searching for a sunrise when I won't call your name. Even though you set me free, my heart's in Arizona, but it's just like Tennessee. There's a street here they call Broadway, but it ain't quite the same. At a bar where I've been singing, drinking down the pain. That neon moon is rising, watching over me, all alone in Colorado. And it's still just like Tennessee. I'm waiting on a sundown when I won't call your name. Begging for salvation and there's no one else to blame. I'm hungry for forgiveness even though you set me free. They might call it California, but it's just like Tennessee. Yeah. Now the desert rain reminds me it just wasn't meant to be. I could be home in South Dakota, but it's just like Tennessee. I'm still 2,000 miles from nowhere. It's just like Tennessee. It's just like Tennessee. I went back out to the desert to see the open sky. Appreciate it, thank you. I think our moderator, Dave Hawley, would want me to turn the microphone over to a fantastic new young talent that I just got to meet today for the very first time, and I'm looking forward to hearing her songs, her stories, and playing some guitar along with her. So please welcome Nattie Jean.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here tonight. Me and my dad actually, the first time performing was last night. I'm here in Sioux Falls at the Wood Grain Brewing Company for their 1-year anniversary party. So this is our first weekend here performing in Sioux Falls.
Welcome.
Thank you. A little backstory on me. Like one of my biggest fears is public speaking. So singing is like, you'd think I wouldn't do this stuff, but I grew up around music. My dad, he'll accompany me later, and my mom, she's over there recording. They were in a band together all the years of me growing up. My mom was the lead singer, my dad was the guitarist, so I've always been around music my whole life. I got to listen to her like belt to some Pat Benatar and all that stuff, so pretty fun stuff. So anyways, this first song that I'm gonna do is called 1 Foot on the Ground, and it's a story about being in a relationship where you've got 1 foot basically out the door. You just realize the relationship is toxic and you're ready to move on, so you know the love is dead, but yeah, so it's kind of that just 1 foot on the ground with 1 foot out the door.
Baby, I was young when I thought you were the one. Yeah, you could say I was dumb, thinking changing you would be fun. 'Cause I just look like a clown, 'cause you'd be fooling around. Well, I'd be sitting at home waiting on you by the phone. Baby, we keep going around, 'cause there's no love to be found. change, or I'm the one to blame. Baby, our fight's always been the same, and I keep holding on, hoping all my friends were wrong, 'cause I was never that strong. Oh, but baby, I've come far along. Yeah, 'cause I'm so sick of going around when there's no love to be found. Yeah, I'm just sticking around. I got one foot on the ground. Yeah, one foot on the ground. Baby, I got one foot on the ground. Baby, I got one foot on the ground. And I'm done sticking around. Thank you.
Woo! Man. Holy cow. I'm bringing it down a little bit after that one, but
Put one foot on the ground right now.
damn. All right, so anyways, I'm Chris Reynolds. I play in a local band here called Whiskey Rich. Maybe you've heard of us. Country music, of course. Thanks so much. This next song I'm about to play is I've written a lot of songs, it seems like, over the last 10, 15 years or so, but I always come back to this one if I'm just plinking on a guitar at home. And this was one, I'm 39 now, which is just almost depressing to say, but I probably wrote this, yeah. I knew I was going to get some snide remarks over here. It still feels old. I got back pain in the morning. Hell yeah for the back pain crowd. And I probably wrote this maybe when I was 27-ish, but it's a song called Long Way to Go, and I wrote it just because it seemed like back then, post-college, everyone's just in a hurry to get on with life, just in such a rush to get the perfect job, get the girl, have some kids, on and on. Everyone's just in such a hurry. We got a long way to go here. We're in our late 20s, and life is not A to B linear. It's here and 2 steps back and 1 step forward, and we'll have some ups and we'll have some downs. And I just got tired of everyone, and it's even worse now, of course, but just everyone rushing through life. It just seemed like. So I can't remember how long this song took to write, but I don't think it was very long. Maybe an hour or two. I don't know if that is considered falling out of the sky, but yeah, this one's called A Long Way to Go. It's probably more of a folksy song than it is country, but maybe it's all country when I sing it here. And I did want to say before I forget that between the three of us, we've sold millions of albums up here, so. Have a little respect for the songwriters, please. Thank you. Just needed to get that in there because I know I'd forget. The road of life will one day end, curves and winds, twists and bends, where all leaves just blowing in the wind. There's ups and downs, highs and lows, spitting rain, blowing snow, but you got a long way to go. You don't need a lot of money to find the land of milk and honey. Just say yes to the Lord. It can be a rocky road, but you got a long way to go. good people on this earth, and out of those, try to find a girl, then treat her like she's your whole world. And days will pass and you'll get old, you get gray hair and drive real slow, but you got a long way to go. You don't need a lot of money to find the land of milk and honey. Just say yes to the Lord. It can be a rocky road, but you got a long way to go. You're going for a ride. Hold on tight, you got the rest of your life. You don't need a lot of money to find the land of milk and honey. Just say yes to the Lord. It can be a rocky road, but you got a long way to go. You got a long way to go. Thank you. That's a multi-platinum song right there between the three of us.
Never gonna live that down, am I? Oh, wow, that's great, Chris.
Well, I'm-
Whiskey, Chris, whatever we call you.
I'm riding your coattails on this one as much as I can.
Man, you are carving your own path and your own way, but you got a long way to go. And I predict big things for you and
Oh,
your
thanks,
life and
sir.
your music and your career. And
Appreciate
I know
that.
that you are completely dedicated to your family, your wife, your kids, and music is your passion. It's something you're really, really good at. And wherever it takes you, man, I'll always be following along and very proud of you.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you.
I guess it's my turn again now, and I did speak about the process of songwriting. To me, it's fascinating. I know Chris is, between the three of us, we've sold millions of records, right?
Woo,
and
amen.
I've had so many dreams come true, touring the world, and basically everything that you could possibly do in this business. Whether I've been successful at it or not, I've done it. You know, whether having my own comic book and starring in movies and movie soundtracks and big shows, big tours. Sold out 3 nights in a row at Madison Square Garden back in 1987. And there's so many wonderful experiences and dreams come true. But I think the biggest joy that I can take from the last 50 years of dedicating my life to music is the joy of writing a song and crafting a good song. There's no feeling like it. Like I said earlier, it is very much like giving birth. And sometimes it's work. You've got to shut the world off, turn your phone off, shut yourself away from your wife and your business, and just focus on the guitar with a notebook. I still write longhand in a notebook and with a little recording device, old school, like I used to. And when you're doing that, you're shut off in the room. You're not alone. There's, at least I'm not, there's multiple voices in my head. There's the singer talking, and there's the guitar player talking, and the producer, and the engineer, and the songwriter, and the businessman, and all the different emotions that you bring up. So I am hearing my own voice multiplied in my head 5 times when I'm going through that songwriting process. And so a lot of times, I've had a couple of really good songs that I'm proud of that came from what I call sound check riffs. And if you're a musician, you know, when you walk up to the stage and they check the drums, doom, 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 and they check the bass, and then okay, now play something, play guitar. And I've had a couple of sound check riffs that I would just automatically just launch into. Sound check riff, right? It wasn't a song or anything, it was just some riff that I was playing. And it's happened more than once where I said to myself, man, if it's the first thing you think of when you pick up a guitar, maybe you should make a song out of it. That's not rocket science, right? So I turned that riff into a song one night, and I thought, man, I'm going to write a song around that riff. That's my job tonight. Shut myself away in the basement, turn the recorder on, get the notebook out. I'm going to write a song built around that riff. And I'm searching for chords and searching for words and stuff that rhymes. Usually it helps if it rhymes, right? And I didn't have a title or a concept or anything, and one of those voices in my head said, "What would Skinner do?" Right? Oh, what would Skinner do? Well, I know what Skinner would do, right? And so I'm going to leave the punchline of the story for after the song, because the punchline is more effective than that. And I did end up writing a song on the Metal Cowboy album called "What Would Skinner Do?" It goes like this. And if you hear more than one guitar playing, except when we're playing with Nat, this is called a looping pedal. It plays what I just hit, and it records it, and I can play over the top of it. And like I said, what would Skinner do? Something like this. So it's a song about songwriting. Oh, yeah! Sometimes I'm searching for the right words to say what's on my mind. Other times I'm just trying to make them rhyme. Up all night trying to find a melody and get the chords just right and make them fit in for time. So I ask myself, what would Skinner do? A little slide guitar, try to sing the truth. If I had one more chance to make a stand and nothing left to lose, I'd ask myself, what would Skinner do? We've all got hell to raise, bills to pay, and things that we would change if we could do it all again. And through it all, we take our time working on the simple life. And tonight, I sure could use a helping hand. And I ask myself, what would Skinner do? They play like they had something left to prove. I bet they'd raise a glass, stand and fight. Oh yeah, you got that right. Now tell me, what would Skinner do? And I ask myself, what would Skinner do? A little slide guitar, try to sing the truth. I bet they'd rock this town, play it proud for the all red, white, and blue. Now I know, what would Skinner do? Oh yeah! Just try to sing the truth. I didn't write that last part. That's what Skinner would do.
Don't tell him, man.
And the punchline of the story, if I may take another minute of your time, was when I wrote the song and the Metal Cowboy album came out in 2014, hosted my own radio show many times through the last 12 years in broadcasting, loved radio, broadcasting, podcasting, all that. And that side career has given me the opportunity to speak to and have these really in-depth interviews and conversations with a lot of my heroes, a lot of rock and roll Hall of Famers that I've had on the phone talking about music and life and singing and It's just an amazing experience interviewing some of my heroes. And one of those was Ricky Medlock, who was the founder of Blackfoot and has been at Leonard Skinner now for what, 25, 27 years, something like that. So Ricky is a big part of Skinner. And when they released that Last of a Dying Breed album in 2014, I had him on the radio show, and I get an opportunity to talk to Ricky Medlock on the radio show. And once you get these guys on the radio with you, now all of a sudden you got their phone number. And you got their email address, right? So I wrote that song, and I thought for sure, man, this is a tribute to Skinner, right? They're gonna love this. So I had his email address, I sent it to him, and didn't hear back for 2 or 3 weeks. Eventually, I thought for sure, man, they're gonna love this. They're gonna take me on tour with Leonard Skinner. And a side story, I actually did go on tour with Leonard Skinner in 1999 as their t-shirt guy. That's how badly I wanted to tour with Skinner, man. I went on tour selling their merch as their t-shirt guy because I just wanted to tour with Skinner, right? So 3 weeks go by, I got no response from Ricky Medlock, and I emailed him back. I said, hey, Ricky, I sent you a song called What Would Skinner Do about 3 weeks ago. I'm just wondering if you got it. He emailed me back, said, yeah, I got it. That's all. That's still, you know, I'm glad that you got it. So glad to sing it for you tonight, and now we'll pass the mic on to Nattie G.
So real quick, what would Skinner do? Like, what would they? Is the answer like trash a hotel room, or?
They would play some slide guitar, and they'd go to that C and then that B7. That's what they would do. That's why I got the B7.
Yeah.
I don't know
There you
that
go.
chord. That's what Skinner would do.
Yeah, that's what they would do. And then trash a hotel room maybe later.
Well, they'll leave that to the rock stars like you. Nattie Jean, you're up next. John, what do we have another great song from you. I love this one. Go ahead, talk about it.
So anyone who knows me knows I'm pretty quiet, and when you write music, sometimes you can, you know, kind of show a different personality, something that you are not typically known for. And growing up, like, even if I had like someone who would like upset me, and I would tell my mom, I'd tell her what happened, and I'd be like, and then I said, well, you can go shove it or whatever. You know, I would just say that. And she's like, did you actually say that? And I was like, well, in my mind I did. So I'm not one to really be rowdy or sassy really or anything like that. So this song is called Watch Me, and it's about being cheated on in a relationship and you go a little bit crazy on that person. So yeah, this is just a different personality that I got to bring out. That is not me, but if I was sassy and feisty, this would be my song.
1, 2, 3.
I messed up, went and tore your shit up. Oh,
cheating's taking a toll. So watch me blow up, throw your stuff, call that girl you slept with and tell her what's up. Oh, you didn't think I had a clue. Oh, but honey, baby, I knew. Yes, I knew. Yes, I knew. Oh, I knew. Yes, I knew. Thank you. See, I even fumbled at the beginning of that song because that just is not my personality.
Woo! Man, why you got to do that before I sing? Man, great song there. Okay, my next one here is a song called Chasing Ghosts, and this is probably my most interesting story I got for you. A couple of years ago, I used to play a lot on TikTok, just live on TikTok, which was kind of fun for me. I would just take country requests and play on there. Well, and you get just, over the years, just thousands of people who just come through randomly. And some guy heard me who was in the oil business, but he also did a bunch of funding for movies. He would give these studios money to make movies, and he had this script that was already written. It's actually a book called Ghost Killer, I think is the name. Ghost Killer is the book, but the movie was some sci-fi western, I know, which sounds like not a great movie. He did send the script, and he wanted me to write a song for the soundtrack. And if you've ever, I don't know, most people, you've probably never read a movie script. It was a new experience for me. It is very different. I thought it'd be more like a book. It is not. A lot of stuff in brackets, setting the scene, and it's weird. The dialogue is different than how a book is. So it took me a long time to get through this script, and it wasn't half bad actually. It was pretty interesting. Anyways, so I make this song, write this song, and I think it's a pretty good song, and I turn it into the guy, and didn't really hear much right away, but they actually liked it. I was like, hell yeah, they're probably gonna use this for this movie. He gets back to me after a few weeks, and he just, month after month after month would go by. You see where this is going, and the movie's not happening, and now we're like 2 years, from when he originally asked me to do it. I keep asking him, is this movie gonna happen? And he just says, man, the post-COVID movie-making world is just so different. You just don't get, there's just there's not as many investors. It's a losing industry. You just don't get a lot of these lower budget films anymore. And they had all these actors lined up to play these parts. It was like Tara Reid was one of them, if you remember her from like the American Pie movies when I was a kid. And then I forget his name, the old man from Saw. You guys remember the Saw horror movies? Tobin Bell is his name, who played the old man who set all the games up for Saw. And then Kevin Sorbo was like the main character, if you know who Kevin Sorbo is. But I was like, oh my gosh, this is like nuts. But anyways, the whole film, I think, went kaput. There's no money in these low-budget films. Nobody wants to take a risk on it, which makes sense. No one's hardly going to the theaters anymore, which is sad. But anyways, I got a pretty decent song out of it, I think. You guys can be the judge of that. It's called Chasing Ghosts. Sounds like this. Haunted by echoes of love gone by, chasing a memory in a starry sky, faded illusions rise at dawn, here for a moment and the moment's gone. No matter how fast I run, It's like a swing in the dark. I can't quite hit the mark. You're what I'm missing most. Out here chasing ghosts. I'm out here chasing ghosts. Soft whispers linger in my mind as the curtain falls for the very last time. I can see your footprints. Have you answered my prayers? The longer I go, it all leads to nowhere. No matter how fast I run, no matter how far I've come, it's like a swing in the dark. I can't quite hit the mark. You're what I'm missing most. I'm out here chasing ghosts. I'm out here chasing ghosts. Against all odds, I push on through with the hope one day that I will find you. No matter how fast I run, no matter how far I've come, it's like a swing in the dark. I can't quite hit the mark. You're what I'm missing most. I'm out here chasing ghosts. I'm out here chasing ghosts. I'm out here chasing ghosts. Thank you so much. Thank you.
That's Whiskey Rich, Chris Reynolds. And man, the acoustic version of that is so fantastic, Chris. But I know I have the recorded version that you sent me.
recording's way better.
Are you going to release that, or
Yes,
what are the plans for that?
I've been sitting on that like 2 years for no reason. But
Waiting on the
it'll
movie.
be out.
Yeah.
Well, it was. I mean, it wasn't even really. Well, it was because of the movie for a while, but now it's just. I need to get a little marketing campaign going. You know what I mean? I need you guys to like my shit on Facebook.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Give out your, follow these
out
artists
your
on
phone.
Facebook and Spotify. Chris has Whiskey Rich on
Whiskey Rich on Facebook,
Facebook,
Instagram, TikTok.
And Nattie Jean, of course, on all those platforms as well, Spotify, Facebook, all that. Please make sure that you support these songwriters and their music. I know that I've listened to both of them nonstop for the past week, so I've racked up your numbers pretty good. I just love the music. I love the songs that we're doing tonight, and that's a special one, Chris. Good job.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
And I did mention that songwriting is often a very solitary process. For guys like me, I've done it both ways. You know, I've written a lot of songs alone in the dark, and I've actually had the experience of co-writing some really cool songs with some big hit Nashville songwriters and some of my heroes. I actually got to write a song with George McCorkle, who was the founding member of the Marshall Tucker Band, and he and I co-wrote a song together, which is a blessing and a great memory. And I love co-writing. I think I would love to co-write songs with either one of you. Man, you got my number.
Absolutely.
Anytime, let's get together and see what we can come up with together. But I promise you, I'm not the best co-writer, and this story will give a great example of that. I've got a friend in town. His name's Dale Hennings, and he plays guitar in a band called Leadfoot. Dale's a great guy, super longtime friend since I moved here. And he made the mistake one day of reaching out to me via Facebook message, said, "Hey, Ron, let's write a song together. Let's call it The Last Bottle on Earth." And I thought, boom! song title. Are you kidding me? That song title, that's Money in the Bag, man. It's fantastic. The Last Bottle on Earth. I immediately pictured a beach or a desert with one bottle sticking out. It's the last bottle on Earth. The bottle sticking out from the rocks. And it's got the label on it. It's like, man, I saw this vision. And I said, okay, Dale, that's a great idea. Let's write it together. And like 10 minutes later, the song was done, and he had nothing to do with it. Because it really exploded to me. It was one of those gifts from heaven that the last bottle on Earth to me. And I think Dale thought, since we both like to have a drink every now and then, he thought that we were probably going to get together and write some party drinking song, right? And to me, that song title was a metaphor for my entire lifestyle and my philosophy and how I conduct my life, my business, my marriage, everything I do. I treat every song, every kiss, every moment as if it were my last, because I am on a one-day contract. I do not know. I am not guaranteed tomorrow. Tomorrow is promised to no one. And I treasure every single moment. Nights like this, friends like this, songs like these. And to me, that's what the last bottle on Earth meant. If it was the last bottle on Earth, man, I am going to enjoy every single sip. So,
Amen.
10 minutes later, I called Dale and I said, dude, song's done. All right, sorry, brother. I did give him 20% of the royalties and writing credit because he came up with that big time title. But I'd like to play it for you now, and this is off my Keel World album. It was the first single from the album. To release an acoustic ballad as your first single, maybe not the best marketing decision, but the song, once I started putting it in the live show, I'm touring around the country, and this song was part of my solo acoustic gig. I had people that were asking for a recording of it so they could use it at their wedding. Or they could use it at their memorial service for their dead loved one. And I thought, man, if a song is that, if you can apply that song to both someone's wedding and their funeral, then there's got to be something special there. So I said, man, I've got to go ahead and put it out because these people are asking me to use it as part of their life, and there's no greater honor than to be a part of someone's wedding or memorial service or anything like that. So I'm going to sing it for you now, and we'll enjoy this moment as if it were the last bottle on Earth. It was good while it lasted. It's still good when it's gone. If you look back on that sundown, you won't see the dawn. So let's live forever, baby. Just keep moving on. Let's make this last, 'cause I want to drink you up. I killed the last bottle on Earth. I want to build you up with all of my love. And I'm gonna take some time at the end of the line to be the man you deserve. I'm gonna drink you up. I killed the last bottle on Earth. All of my yesterdays led us to where we are now. Tonight and forever is all we're allowed. If we live in the past, we'll die in the past. spot alone earth. I'm gonna drink you up. I killed the last spot alone earth. I'm gonna fill you up. Oh, my love. I'm gonna take some time at the end of the line to be the man you deserve. I'm gonna drink you up. I killed the last bottle on earth. It was good while it lasted. Thanks for listening. Appreciate it. Got a little choked up. I got a little choked up, man. I can't even look at my wife and sing that after all these years. She is, to me, the last bottle on earth. I love you, baby. Woo.
I love that song, Ron.
Thank you, man. Appreciate
It's
it.
my favorite of your three right there. Ah, I love that.
I just want to thank Ron and Whiskey Rich for learning these 3 songs of mine. I'm very appreciative. You guys are so talented and amazing and so kind, and so I'm just very blessed. I also want to thank Phil's Pub here for having us and supporting live music, because that's such a great thing to have a place where we can have live music and keep that alive. So thank you so much. I'm really excited to play after this too with my dad, so please stick around for that as well. So this next song, my dad actually sent me an instrumental, and I think originally, I think he was just gonna have it as an instrumental. I can't remember for sure, but I remember hearing it, and I was just like, right away, I was like, this is so pretty. I'm like, can I please just write on it? And so I asked him, I'm like, can I write on this instrumental here? And he was like, well, yeah. So this song is called You and I, and it's a love song. It's basically about just throughout the years, there's always ups and downs in relationships, but you're just always there for one another. So this is called You and I. We've always fought too much. Relationships been rushed. You've always pushed your luck with me. It's confusing, you see. We've cried a night or two, but I'll never say I'm through with you. My love for you is true. Over the hills, across the lakes, I'll be a sun on shady days. I'll be the fire in your eyes. Our love I'll never compromise. It's you and I. The years have passed us by, but I'll always be right by your side. Our love's no lie. I felt us fall apart. We've always fixed our hearts and moved on, and it's left us strong. 'Cause we've climbed the hills, we've crossed the lakes, we were the sun on shady days. We lit the fire in our eyes, our love we never compromise. It's you and I.
'Cause we've climbed the hills, we've crossed the lakes, we were the sun on shady days. We lit the fire in our eyes. Our love, we never compromised. It's you and I.
Thank you.
My word. Another powerhouse. Every song of hers. She's going to do that to me.
Nattie Jean on Spotify,
Power.
Facebook, Nattie, Nattiejean.
Yes, ma'am. If you give me just 2 seconds here, I put this capo on here and I got to retune this guitar because it knocks it out of tune just a little bit. So just bear with me here, just 2 seconds. I want to play in tune for you, for God's sake. All right. Just kicks it up a little sharp. Okay.
It's a great song, by the way. Coming up here, this is why we saved this one for last.
Oh, appreciate it. This is, so finally, I played you 2 slow ones. I want to play you something more upbeat here. It's this is a song called $1 Million. Originally, it was titled If I Had $1 Million, and then everybody was like, oh, that's a bare naked lady song. I got tired of that shit, so I changed it just to $1 Million. Yes, I've heard it. Okay? I know the song. I wrote this one actually while I was working at my day job, just sitting at a computer, and I'm like, man, F this sucks. And I just had like a tune in my head, and so I just was like humming this melody in my head, and I just got out a pen and paper and started writing stuff down. I think I had it done in like maybe an hour at work. So yeah, came out pretty quick, killed some time at work, I don't care. Getting paid by the hour, right? A little more time in the bathroom, a little more writing songs, and that's it. So this one's called $1 Million. It's just kind of a fun song. It is about just kind of dreaming, obviously having more money, and spending it on your girl, So I know you ladies like that, right? Yes, so feel free, play with me, and pick a solo. It doesn't have to be like the recording. You just do whatever you want.
I've enjoyed listening to these songs all week long, and I love the.
Yeah, you pick one. Go ahead. Do it another time. Sometimes I'm feeling guilty 'cause I can't take her out of the city, shopping spree and nice restaurants. I've been working 12-hour days, breaking my back for minimum wage. I can't give her all that she wants. If I had $1 million, I bet I could solve all our problems. I'd buy her a house and a fancy licking, only find what she'd be drinking. There'd be no limitation on our European vacation. Put a massive diamond on her if I had $1 million. She don't mind going to a dive bar, driving around in a rust bucket car. Says it don't matter anyway. But I know she sees when other guys buy their ladies something nice, taking them to dinner under candlelight every day. But if I had $1 million, I bet I could solve all our problems. Buy her a house and a fancy licking, only fine wine she'd be drinking. There'd be no limitation on our European vacation. Put a massive diamond on her if I had $1 million. She deserves it all, there ain't no
Whiskey Rich, he is rich in more ways than one.
Thank you for coming. Thanks so much for supporting this. God bless you. Like us on Facebook, Nattie Jean, Ron Keel, Whiskey Rich on all the socials. Thank you so much.
All right, let's hear it once again for all three of these great people, huh? Wow. And for yourselves as well for coming out here and for staying quiet when they're actually singing. Thank you. But it's so great to see the talent come together and to think you just were amazed by real people, nothing made by AI. Yeah, absolutely. It's so great to watch how everything comes together. And one thing I always mention on my show is the fact that in this community we talk so much not about competition but collaboration. And for these guys to learn those songs just a few days, for them to pick up on each other's songs and so forth, it's amazing how great things happen when you collaborate. All right, so thank you once again for coming out here. Of course, follow Crazy Poet Records on social media for all the latest news about future writers' rounds and other events. Be sure to check out the outstanding schedule of live music here at Phil's. Make a donation if you haven't yet for Lifescape. And finally, tune into the Dave Holly Hour every Thursday for all the latest in Sioux Empire arts and entertainment. Thanks everybody for me. Every day is a holiday.